What is up? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we got a lot of MMA, blood sport, combat sports in general to talk about. We're going to be drinking beer. So, this is going to be a huge weekend combat sports-wise. We got 2 Bellator events. We got 1 championship tomorrow morning. We got UFC Saturday night. We got Tyson Fury versus Dylan White Saturday night. Big weekend. And last night we had the kickoff of PFL. So they had their season opener for their 4th season, the tournament-style combat league. I love it. They do a point system. We'll get into that in a second. We'll drink our beer. Today's beer of choice, if I can find it, it's Mango Cart. And it's made by the Golden Road Brewing Company. Obviously, meant to taste like a mango. It's a mango wheat ale. So we're going to crack this motherfucker open, let you know how it tastes, and give her a rate. While I'm doing that, PFL. We'll get into the scoring system. It's not too complex. 3 points for a win, 3 points for a first round finish added on to that win, 2 points for a second, 1 point for a third. End of the season, top 4 scorers in each weight class go to a playoff where they do a tournament-style bracket. They fight to see who's going to be the champion and get the $1 million grand prize. So, without further ado, we'll jump right into that. We'll first try our beer. It tastes just like a mango. Tastes just like a mango. Anyways, PFL Season 4, number 1. The number 1 episode, the season kickoff, whatever we want to call it. Start with the light heavyweights. We saw a lot of points picked up last night. We had 5 points from Rob Wilkerson with a second round TKO. And then Antonio Carlos Jr. one-ups that on the main card. He gets a 29-second finish by submission, so he gets 6 points for that. Another 6-pointer was Omari Akhmedov. He got a vicious first-round knockout with some hooks. So quick, that guy, for light heavyweight. Not the biggest, but he definitely looked like he's got the power for that weight class. And then Corey Hendricks, he got 5 points by beating Emiliano Sordi. Second round, so 5 points for the second round TKO. And then rounding that out, Martin Hamlet, he got 3 points for his decision victory. That's the light heavyweight division. So in first place, we got Antonio Carlos Jr. and Omari Akhmedov. And then rounding up the top 4 are the 2 guys that got 5, Rob Wilkerson and Corey Hendricks. On the lightweight side, so 155, we saw defending champion Roush Manfio. He picked up 4 points with a nasty Kardashian win, or comeback win. He gets his ass kicked for 2.5 rounds by Don Madge, and then he lands 1 strike just to sleep him. Just puts him out. So, Roush Manfio picks up 4 points with a third-round KO. And then Olivia Aubin-Mercier and Alexander Martinez, they both picked up 3 points with their decision victories. And in the main event, we had Clay Collard taking on former UFC fighter Jeremy Low-Heathen Stevens. And in this fight, wow, slobber knocker, fists were flying. Collard was more active, Stevens was more accurate. Both landing big bombs. I thought Stevens' punches were harder, but Collard landed a little bit more. Collard comes away with the unanimous decision victory, but I won't be surprised if that's fight of the season. That was a hell of a fight. They were swinging from bell to bell, just fucking cracking each other. They went balls to the walls. So that's what we have for PFL. PFL 2, I think, is next Thursday, April 28th. We'll jump into that next week's episode, or Sunday maybe. But Bellator, they've got 2 events, one Friday, one Saturday. The Friday night event, headlined by Liz Carmouche. She's taking on undefeated Juliana Velasquez in the women's 125-pound division. That's, like I said, Friday night Bellator 278 showtime, and prelims are on MMA Junkie. Not a ton of star power on that card, but, sometimes you get some diamonds in the rough with those. And then 279 is going to be much more stacked. We got Chris Cyborg. She's headlining, defending her featherweight title against, what's her first name? Ariane Blanco. Already fought her once, beat her. Since coming to Bellator, and even before that, Cyborg's been so dominant. Just one of the absolute women's goats of MMA. I'm seeing her getting another victory, so if you want to make some easy money, bet some money on Cyborg. And then also going on this card, we have the kickoff to the Bantamweight Grand Prix. First fight is going to be former Ryzen, former Bellator Bantamweight champion Kyoji Horiguchi. He's taking on submission specialist Patchy Mix in what's bound to be an awesome fight. Horiguchi can do it everywhere. Patchy Mix is so slick with his submissions. He'll pull it out from nowhere. He'll just... Whoops. He'll lock you up and finish that motherfucker right there. So that's going to be a fun one. And then following that, we have Juan Archuleta. He's taking on Rafian Stotts for the interim championship since the Bellator Bantamweight champ is out of the Grand Prix with injury. They're going for the Bantamweight interim belt as well as kicking off this Grand Prix. So these guys, they don't like each other. Juan Archuleta, he's a former Bellator champ in his own right. That's going to be a fun fight. You know I love grudge matches. Can't fucking wait. And those are both on Showtime, Friday and Saturday night. Both the prelims will be on MMA Junkie's website, and you can get the link on their app also. And then on to some UFC. We have UFC Fight Night coming up. Andrade versus Lemos. It's got a lot of fun fights on it. You know, Charles Air Jourdain, he's going to be making an appearance. Great kickboxing, warrior mentality, screams in the ring, throws Spartan kicks. In the octagon, I should say. He's fun as shit. He's taking on London Venata. Manel Kopp, he's taking on Sue Mataraji. Manel Kopp, he came in, former Ryzen champ. He had some struggles. I think he dropped his first 2 or 3 in the UFC. Since he's gotten a flying knee KO, he's looked really good. So he's looking to make a championship push, and this dude's kickboxing is insane. I think that he just wasn't expecting I don't think he was expecting the challenge that other UFC fighters could have brought to him. And then in the co-main, Clay Guida, he's fighting his last fight on the contract. He said he wants to come back, though. He's been around forever. He's taking it on Claudio Puelles, and Puelles trying to make a name for himself off Guida. Guida wants to earn another contract. He says, "I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere." Dude's a warrior. He shows up every time. And then Jessica Andrade, she's taking on Amanda Lemos. And Andrade, she's trying to get back to the title picture. She's been kind of kicked out because she's beating everybody under her. She can't beat anybody over her. It seems like she's just in a weird place, kind of that gatekeeper spot. Lemos is making that push to the title. She's trying to say, I'm the new fresh face of this division. So we'll have to wait and see. That'll be a fun one. That's Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, depending on where you're at. ESPN. And also on ESPN, we got Tyson Fury taking on Dylan White for the lineal heavyweight championship in boxing. Tyson Fury can do it all. He can outpower you. He can stick and move. He can use his footwork to just piece you up and make you look silly. Dude's entertaining with his walkout, with his talks. Dude is just, he's that dude. Dylan White, he's got some heavy hands and some great boxing, though. He's looking to dethrone him and become the next lineal champ. If Deontay Wilder couldn't knock him out, I don't see White doing it, but we'll have to wait and see. That'll be a fun fight. That's in Wembley Stadium, so both these guys are Brits, and they're going to be sold out, 95,000. It's going to be a hell of a fight. That's pay-per-view, I think, for ESPN. And then finally, wrapping things up, UFC's working on John Jones versus Stipe Miocic for July 2nd. John Jones finally making his comeback, and it's going to be at the heavyweight class. And Stipe finally making his comeback. You know I love my boy Stipe. So, and then, Rob Whittaker. He's out with injury of his Marvin Vettori fight that was supposed to be in June, I want to say. So, heal up, Rob. That's all we got for you today, though. By the way, this gear, Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell, UFC featherweight. Super exciting. Get your gear at millions.co. Search any athlete you want. They're probably on there, and they've got some pretty cool stuff. So check that out. As always, I'm Matt with Blood and Beer, and thank you for tuning in.